Why? Because they have taken a piece of it and used it for their own power and control. So we have to be careful with that. That's why we need to balance it, Hadi Alim, with what? The teachings of the Prophet, the Hadith, the Sharia, the Quran, the understandings that he gave, and we have to understand it in a very clear way. We have to take the time to understand it, not use it because we have desire to control people. We have to stop that. Okay, so my asking all of you, and I don't think Siddhi was any different, is that you become people of knowledge. That you become the people of knowledge, and through that knowledge you learn. Okay, good. Okay, so no, and I do want to make a little caveat here, that for Siddhi, it was very, very important that you learn Quranic knowledge. I want you to know that's very, very important for Siddhi that you learn Quranic knowledge. For Siddhi, he not only wanted you to learn Quran, but he wanted you to learn the inner dimension of it. Okay, the inner dimension of it he put in his Tasvir books. So he wanted you to learn the teachings, but he wanted you to learn the Tasvir as well. Okay, and there are many Tasvirs. There's a very famous one. Just forgot his name. Who's the major Tasvir?
Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir.
Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir is is a wonderful Tasvir. But Ibn Kathir doesn't come close to Siddhi. It's beautiful. I mean, I love the knowledge Ibn Kathir gives, but it doesn't give you the Haqiqat aspects of it. It gives you mostly Sharia aspects, but it gives you a little Tariqah and no Haqiqat. Siddhi gives you some Sharia and then a lot of Tariqah and Haqiqah with it. So he's giving you a different Tasvir, which is really a Haqiqah Tasvir. So that's why it's so beautiful. He wants you to learn that.
Are these through his Tasvir books?
All those yellow books that came out, the Tasvir books, it's all in there. You have to read those. And you can read Ibn Kathir, as well, and learn about the, if you don't understand how the Quran was given, you haven't understood it. And to just read it without the situations, you don't understand it. You have to have the situations to understand the statements. Without it, it gets misinterpreted very, very badly. And that's why, for me, I'm a seer. I'm somebody who's seen light for most of my life. I see the inner light of things. I always have. And when I read the Torah, Siddhi told me before he died, he said, Ibrahim, I want you to read the Torah, I want you to read the Bible, the New Testament, I want you to read the Quran. That was his last order for me before he died. He told me to read all this. And when I read the Torah, and I read the lines, some of the lines, they come through, and the lines are like pure light. They're exquisite. And then some of the lines, they turn yellow. And some of the lines, they turn black. What do you think that might mean?
How much light they contain in the transmission?
Exactly. And so my statement is, not sure what happened, I might have just blew up. We're not supposed to talk about this. I don't know. Anyway, we just lost the mic. But the point of it, my point is that not everything you read is clear. Now, I want to tell you something. When you read the Quran in Arabic, it's pure white light. When you read the Quran in English, it's mostly yellow. What do you think?
How do you interpret yellow?
Nafs.
Okay. And you interpret black as?
Shaitan. Okay, so think about that. So if you're reading Quran in Arabic, you're getting the pure transmissions both on the inner and the outer. I mean, the outer words are correct, and the inner transmissions are correct from Spirit. When you read it in English, what are you getting? You're getting the mind's interpretation of the Quran based on the interpreter, right? So if Yusuf Ali interprets the Quran, you're getting it through Yusuf Ali's mind. If you get Nuruddin Durki, you get it through Nuruddin Durki's mind. If you get it through the Noble Quran, I don't remember who did that one, you get it through that person's mind. So the person who interprets it puts their slant on the interpretation. There are many people that say that no interpretation of the Quran is accurate, other than the Arabic, which may behoove you to learn Arabic. Okay, but in any case, the point is that I can tell you from my honest heart, if you don't, you're not getting, when you read the interpretations, a lot of what you're getting is the person interpreting it. And it's subtle. They're putting their slants on it, and you don't even realize you're picking it up, but you're just learning it through that person rather than learning it through the real thing. That's why I recommend you learn the Quran through Sidi. Because at least his Sidi's interpretations are pure. You know, they're clean. A lot of them aren't. Okay, so I just feel Sidi sitting here looking at me. And I felt him kind of saying, Ibrahim, did you talk to them about the Quran? So I'm following orders here. Okay. All right. So again, learn the Quran, learn it in a pure way. Learning it in a pure way doesn't mean that you allow somebody to hijack it. Who's a hijacker? Hijacker would be somebody interpreting it in a fundamentalist way, somebody interpreting it in a violent way, somebody interpreting it in a separation way. The Quran is a teaching of love. It's a teaching of peace and mercy. If you are hearing it any other way than that, it has been hijacked. And I mean that with all my heart and soul. It's been hijacked, and you don't realize it, but you are following somebody who's hijacked it in the deepest way. Okay, all right. So, you guys okay with what I just brought through?
I think, I thought, did Sidi just call you?
That was Sidi. Yeah. It's up in the seventh heaven. Want to remind us all to get up there. Okay, all right. So let's go back to what have I said to you this morning now. I've given you two very foundational teachings. A, learn a pure Quran, right? A pure understanding of Quran. Why? Because you should be able to hold up your Alim al-Hakim, your Tadbir, your Buddha Tabir, to a pure understanding of Quran. And what have I said to you? If you learn Buddha Tabir from yourself, the shaitan might get in there and corrupt it for you. And you need that other side to balance it, right? So you turn to the Sharia, you turn to the Hadith, you turn to the Quran, and you say, okay, I got to do this. Is there anything that I learned in Hadith and Sharia and Quran that counters what my Buddha Tabir was? Right? If your Buddha Tabir was, well, Allah says that you're in a lot of pain, so you should go out and have a few drinks, kind of take the head off of it, run out to Las Vegas, do a little gambling, and then see how you feel. And then you go into the Quran and you would read, well, you know what, don't drink and don't gamble. Which one would you follow? I know you'd go to Las Vegas, I know. No, you wouldn't do it, right? Because it counterbalances it inside itself. All right, so let's go back again to, what we're saying here, which is that in the downpouring of the light, as the light comes into you, you have to understand it and surrender to it and follow it. Okay? So as the light comes in, the first step is understanding it. The second step is surrendering to it. And the third step is following it. Those 3 steps need to happen, otherwise your Muda Tabir is incomplete. Okay, so let's walk through that very quickly, and then we'll have the major pieces of it.